Hello and welcome to episode 65 of Confessions of a Yarn Addict podcast. My name is Anniken. I design knitting patterns. I teach knitting workshops online and in person, and I sell yarn, which you can find on my website yarnaddict.co.uk. And I am wearing one of my finished objects, which I'll talk about in a minute. But first, a few formalities. If you like this episode, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. My subscriber numbers is going up every time I look, which makes me so happy. So if you're a subscriber already, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing. It doesn't cost you anything, and it does help me to grow my channel. So thank you very much for joining me. I really appreciate it. I am filming this on a very chilly day in January. What's the date? It's the 17th of January. I'm filming this quite late because I'd like this to go up on YouTube on Thursday. Normally I try and film on a Monday, but this week is just so busy. Going to Norway next week, which slightly relates to this and some of the other stuff I'm going to talk about today. And I'm teaching on Friday, so I'm just trying to get everything done, and there's just so much to do this week, and last week was pretty busy as well. So let's get to what I'm wearing, because I think I'm going to take it off because I think it might get too hot. I don't know, maybe I'll keep it on. So this is my latest finished object. I finished the knitting yesterday and I just sewed it up today, and I filmed a little tutorial to put in with the pattern. So I don't know whether this pattern will be released, like a general release if you like, or whether it will just be from my brioche workshop. So it's knitted in brioche. I will take it off in a minute just so I can show you a bit more close up what it looks like, but I don't know if I'm going to release it as a general release or if I'm going to keep it just for my workshops. So I designed it with two things in mind. One, I'm going to Norway in week tomorrow, and I don't like wearing hats a lot, but it can get cold, so I thought headband is perfect, and I've been meaning to knit myself one for a long time. I was thinking about it a year ago, or yeah, Christmas before last, or Christmas 2021, when we were in Norway. I was thinking I really should knit myself one, and then I just haven't gotten around to it. So I finally done it, and I'm very happy with it. And I am knitting a matching cow, which I'll talk about in a minute. But I also wanted a simple pattern for my brioche workshop. So this would be a pattern I would probably use for my brioche basics workshop, and I'm also working on an online brioche course, and this will definitely be part of that. So I don't know if the pattern will be in general release. Let me know what you think. I do have a cowl that this is based on, so this will be, I think this will be for general release, or I may just keep it for my online course. I haven't decided yet. I'm also doing a workshop on this, I think. That this is a syncopated brioche cowl. It's difficult to see the colours because one of the colours is variegated. So it is difficult to see, but you can see here the purple is the dominant colour, and here the variegated, and there the purple is dominant again, and here the variegated is dominant, and at the end the purple is dominant. So I've been wearing this a lot. That's knitted in Monosly Uruguay Silk Blend, and I'm actually knitting myself another one to hopefully wear when I go to Norway, in a very bright pink yarn. I'll talk about this yarn more in a minute, because it only arrived fairly recently. But I wanted to knit a headband that was matching this yarn, which I've done here. So I'm very, very happy with it. Let me take it off just so I can show you more what it looks like. Messed up my hair now, but never mind. So it is knitted, it starts here, and then it's knitted flat, and then it's sewn together at the end to create this kind of knotted effect. And the pattern will include a link to a video on how to do that. But this is knitted in the same way as this, so you can see the difference better here because there's more contrast between the two colours. So the main colour is this one, which is Spectrum Fibre. Hang on, let me find the label. Spectrum Fibre, I think it's that one. So Spectrum Fibre 100% Superwash Merino double knit. It has 230 meters per 115 grams. And then this color, the variegated color, is Orchidea Luxury Yarns Ultra Merino 100% Superwash Merino, and that one has 225 meters per 100 grams. So they're not the same base yarns, but they feel the same, and that is in the colorway Wannabe. Finished the headband yesterday, and then I immediately cast on for the cowl, and this cowl is the same as this one, but I haven't got very far. I think I'm on the first transition row, so I've done 12 rounds. That bright pink skein from Spectrum Fibre arrived a couple of weeks ago. It was in their sale, Christmas sale, and I also got this one, which is sock yarn. This is Twisted Sock, which has 365 meters per 100 grams, 80% merino, 20% nylon, and it is colorway Aqua. And I love that colorway. That will definitely become socks. Then I also had an order from Truly Hooked arrive. Those two I had been this is also in the sale. It was quite a big reduction on this. I can't remember how much, but it was quite a good sale. So this is Truly Hooked, and it is DK with nylons. It's 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 225 meters per 100 gram, and it's the colorway Wisteria. And I love that colorway. I was tempted to mix that with the pink, but I didn't think there'd be enough contrast, so I decided not to. But I love that colorway. I'm not sure what to do with it. Could knit socks because it does have nylon in it, and I do like my socks to have nylon, but I don't know, might do something else. I haven't decided yet. And then I also got this one. This is the sparkle base, a sparkle sock. Sparkle sock. It has 75% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 5% stellina, and it's 425 meter per 100 gram. Now I did want to knit some sparkly socks last year, and I never got around to it. This is very similar actually to a colorway I got in Norway last summer when I went. So maybe I'll take that and knit socks when I go to Norway, and maybe I'll take that one. I haven't quite decided yet. I'm going to grab my sock blocker. This is the one in the last episode that I said I couldn't find. Turned out it was right by my feet the whole time. I think I just had something shoved in front of it. So let me put on the sock blocker because it's a bit easier to see. So the yarn is Lottie Knits. Oh yes, I have got the yarn is Lottie Knits, Little Bird Sock, 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 365 meters per 100 grams. It's a high twist sock yarn, and it's been in my stash for a while, and I love that colorway. And I think I got a similar point on the last episode, but I was saying that I've made the heel flap a lot shorter than I would normally do. So normally the heel flap kind of traditionally, hang on, this is sitting on my sock blocker a bit kind of wonkily, is that a word? Normally the number of stitches for the heel flap is half the number of total stitches, and normally you would do the same number of rows as you have stitches. So because I have 32 stitches for the heel flap, I would normally do 32 rows. But I decided that was a bit too much, so I can't remember how many I did. I've written it down, but it's on my phone, which I'm filming with, so I can't look it up. But I can't remember how much I did, how many rows I did. But I decided it was a little bit too shallow. It fitted me, but it just felt a little bit too shallow. So I was debating last time I filmed whether I should rip it back or not, and I did go back and I ripped it back and I added a few rows, and then I put that marker in. That's at the where I ripped back to. I added a few more rows for the heel flap, do the heel turn again, and then I've done the gusset, and now I'm just motoring down the leg. So this will come with me to Norway. Hang on, just put my sock blocker away again. So this will come back with me to Norway. I'll probably put it in my personal item for my hand luggage. I'm only taking hand luggage, so I'll have a trolley case and I'll have a rucksack. So I'll probably put this in my rucksack so it's easily accessible. And the other project I will take with me on my trip to Norway, on my traveling to Norway. I'm leaving next Wednesday. I'm getting the train at 6:20 in the morning from Cornwall. So very, very early. Means I have to be at the station for about 6 o'clock, very early. And I should, if everything goes to time, I should be at Stansted by midday, possibly a bit earlier, and my flight's not till 6 o'clock in the evening, so it's going to be a really long day. But to get the cheaper price on the train, I had to get the earlier train, because if I got a later train it would have cost me quite a bit more, and I probably would have only had to leave like a couple hours later anyway, because I want to make sure I allow for any delays and problems en route. I hate being late for international flights. So I have decided to set myself a challenge. I could do with a thicker hat. So I tend to not wear hats very often, and if I do, they're 4-ply hats, but they are a little bit thin if it's really cold. So I've decided I'm going to knit myself a DK hat. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cast on, I'm going to knit it top down. I'm going to cast on before I leave, and just knit the first few rounds, because the cast on for top down is quite fiddly. So I'll just cast on and knit a few rounds, and then not very much, just max 10 rounds, probably less. And then I'm going to see if I can knit the hat before my plane takes off. I actually want to see if I can finish the hat before I get to London, but that might be a little bit of a push because it is a faster train. It doesn't stop that many times. It is, I think it's due to get into London for about 10, just after 10, so it's about 3 hours and 45 minutes, I think. And because I'm leaving so early, it is likely that I might have a nap at some point. So I don't know whether I will finish a hat. I don't think I'll finish a hat that quickly. I did knit a chunky hat when we went to London the last time before the pandemic. A month before the pandemic started, here in the UK, we went to London, and I did knit a chunky hat for my husband, I think it was. So I've done it, but that was chunky yarn. This is 4-ply. But I think with all the hours I have to wait at a Stansted, I will definitely finish it before we take off. So that's why I'm also putting this in my personal item bag, so I can access it really easily, because then I'll have some to knit when I finish the hat, because I expect to finish that fairly quickly. If I haven't finished this brioche cow, this one, then I will take that with me, but I think I will get that finished before I leave. I am planning to make it a bit longer than this one, because I want to make the most of that yarn, because I love those colours. So I'm going to make it a bit longer than this so I can fold it over. So this one I'm wearing it, the on this one I noticed I haven't woven in the end properly, so I got to go and fix that. But this one, when I wear it, it's like that, and quite often I will fold it over, but I want the pink one to be bigger so that it folds over more. And I do have quite a lot of yarn left, because that headband didn't use much yarn. I think it was like less than 15 grams of each colour. So I am going to make that pink cow longer than this one. And then I have this yarn, which is the same colourway, I think, as this one. So this one's called Flamingos on Parade. This one's called Flamingo. So I don't know whether it's exactly the same. It looks the same. Yeah, it is the same colourway, or as close as you can get from your Hyundai yarn anyway. And this one is obviously Spectrum Fibre Twisted Socks. So it's the same sock base, I think, as I'm using for those socks. Obviously a different dye, because it has the same meters per 100 gram and same composition and everything. And I love that colourway, and I've been wanting to do something with that one for a long time, but I only have one. I could knit a shawl, I could combine it with something else and knit a shawl. I actually have another skein from Botanical Yarns, which is almost identical to this. So I could, what I'm thinking I'll do is knit a hat out of this. I was thinking about Isolde Teague's Musselburgh hat. I've seen a few people knit that one lately, and it's like a double layer hat. So you knit 2 layers of stocking stitch. You basically cast on at the crown, you knit till the middle. You basically cast on at the crown, you knit like a long, you increase till you get to the full circumference, you knit a really long tube, and then you decrease at the other end, then you turn half the fabric inside the other. So you get like a double layer hat. But because I had this hat, no, not that one, hang on, where is it? This hat, which will be thicker yarn, I don't think I need 2 thicker hats. So I might actually just do a sock head hat. That's a very basic rib and stocking stitch hat. I've knitted it before, so I am thinking about winding that before I go to Norway and casting on the musselburgh hat, casting on the sock head hat. Sock head hat is a pattern on Ravelry. I'm not sure whether it's available anywhere else, but it's a free pattern, or it was a free pattern. If I can find it, I'll link it, but please be aware that it is a Ravelry link, and I don't know if it's available anywhere else. Same goes on the musselburgh hat. The musselburgh hat is by Solder Teague, probably available on the website, so I'll let you Google that because you can probably find that quite easily. So the projects I'm thinking about taking to Norway is I'm going to take those socks and finish them. I'm going to knit that hat on the way. I may cast on for a hat in this one. I'm kind of 99% certain. Then I think I'll take that for a second pair of socks. I'm also a bit worried because Norway has some great yarn shops. So I'm also thinking, do I need something for a second pair of socks? I can buy stock yarn in Norway. I also do have this yarn, which I got last time I went to Norway. This is Rauma yarn, alpaca silk. I actually thought it was Sandnes yarn for some reason, but it's Rauma yarn, it's alpaca silk. 65% baby alpaca, 25% silk, 10% extra fine merino. It's 200 meters by 25 grams. And I used it for some swatching last time I was in Norway for a design submission. And I was thinking that maybe I wanted to knit a sweater for myself in this, either on its own or holding it together with another yarn. But I wasn't sure. So I thought I would get this one and I would knit a swatch and decide. And then I thought, if I decide to do it, I can always get my mum to buy the yarn and send it to me or something. I actually thought it was Sandnes yarn, not Rauma, but it's Rauma, that's fine. So I am going to try this week to see if I can do some swatching and see what this is like. So I've only knitted it, holding it double with another yarn. So I'm going to do some swatching and see what this is like and see if I do want to knit something with it, and then work out how much yarn that would take to knit a sweater in my size. So I'd have a rough idea, if I wanted to do it, how much yarn I would need and how much that would cost. And then I may or may not do that when I go to Norway. I haven't decided yet. I was also thinking I want to do another Mobius cow, and I got this yarn which arrived from Manos a year ago in this gorgeous colorway, and I just love that colorway. Really pretty, and I'm thinking maybe I will do a Mobius cow with that. I also do need to knit a DK Fair Isle cow, so a stranded colorwork cow for workshops, but I need two solid or semi-solid colors, and all the yarns I've got are too variegated. So I'm teaching at the Knitting Hotel again this Friday, and last week I had a quick look at the yarns that Belinda had, because she has a range of yarns in the hallway that she sells from her own yarns and stuff that other people have dyed, so from other indie dyers. And she had some solid DK yarn that was her own label, but it's dyed by an indie dyer I really like, and it's semi-solid colorways. And I am thinking about getting 2 skeins of that to use for a brioche, not brioche cow, I'm obsessed with brioche, to use for a stranded colorwork cow. So I may take that if she has 2 colorways that I like and that I think will work. So I've got a few things I need to think about and try and make a decision about before I go, before I decide what to take with me to knit. And also bearing in mind that there are a lot of really nice yarn shops in Norway, so I don't want to take too much with me, because I would like to maybe buy some yarn while I'm there. I am thinking about going into Oslo one day and do a bit of a yarn shop crawl to film for the YouTube channel. And there used to be a yarn shop in Oslo which is really nice, which I've never been to, but it looked really nice. I've been following them on social media for a while, and last summer I thought, right, I'm going to make the effort to get there. But they weren't in Oslo city centre, and it was a little bit difficult to get there. They were based quite a long way out. But last August they moved to somewhere closer to where my parents live, and it's actually next to where we frequently go for a walk with my parents. It's one of our probably favourite places that we drive to go for a walk. So I'm just hoping that they're open, because they're on a farm which has loads of like artist units, and quite often they are closed in the winter. At least they're normally closed between Christmas and New Year, which is when we normally go. So I'm hoping they're open. I'm going to contact them on social media before the end of this week to find out whether they are likely to be open, because that would be a great place to visit as well. So I don't know exactly what I'm going to take. Definitely taking this hat, this sock, and possibly this yarn for a sock head hat, and maybe some yarn for a stranded colourwork cowl. I could probably get some yarn for a stranded colourwork cowl in Norway, but I want to make sure it's soft, because if I'm going to wear it around my neck, I want it to be nice and soft. I'm teaching this weekend. I'm teaching or Friday actually, I'm teaching stranded colourwork cowl at the Knitting Hotel. The people who attend will be able to choose between this pattern and my Clanberry cowl, and this is, with this one and the Clanberry cowl, is like a double layer cowl, so it's quite a lot of work, and it's also 4-ply, so it's a lot of work. So I'm thinking about basically designing and knitting a cowl similar to this, but that is not double layered. That means that you would see the strands on the wrong side, but that would just make it a bit quicker for somebody who wants a slightly smaller project. This one is quite big, and if you fold it over like that, it does end up quite big and chunky and warm, I'm thinking that might be too much for some people, so I would like to design a stranded colourwork cowl that is a little bit easier to knit. I also need to think about a project for later in the year. I'm not sure, can't remember exactly when I'm teaching this, but I'm teaching a workshop on 2 days at a Knitting Hotel on stranded colourwork and steeking. I'm used to teaching that as a 1-day workshop, so we just knit a small swatch in the round and then we cut it in the afternoon. But because I'm teaching it over 2 days, we can spend more time on it, so I want to have a bigger project that people can make over 2 days, but not that so big that we can't do it in 2 days. So that's the other thing I need to think about, is I don't think I'm teaching that till late spring, early summer, but I need to come up with another project that's small enough that everyone can get it done, but that's not so small that people will finish it in 1 day. So that's another problem I need to think about, and I'm not quite sure what to do for that one yet, but I need to think about that as well, because that's another project I could take with me on holiday to knit. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm taking on holiday with me to knit. I will tell you if you keep watching this channel. I am thinking about making this a bit of a challenge for me and actually do like a travel vlog on the day I'm traveling, because I'm getting the train from Cornwall up to London, and then I'm getting the tube across London to Liverpool Street, and then I'm getting the train from there to Stansted, and I think that's about 45 minutes, nearly an hour, and then I've got several hours to wait to Stansted, and then I've got a flight to Norway. So I'm thinking about doing, so I'm leaving here at 6 in the morning, and I'll be landing about 9, so I'll get to my parents' house probably by about 10:30. So it's going to be a very long day. So I might film a bit of a travel vlog and set myself a challenge to knit this while I'm traveling, and to film some of the process so I can upload that as a vlog when I get to Norway. So watch this space and I will let you know how I get on. So it's now a couple hours after I filmed the main podcast. I put a jumper on because it's really cold today. I've had a break for lunch, and I realised I've forgotten to tell you about Let's Knit magazine. This is issue, and then I also have a unboxing type thing to share. The yarn just arrived, so I want to show you that as well. So this is issue 193, February 2023 of Let's Knit magazine, and this arrived just, I think it may have been in the shops for a week by the time this podcast comes out. That's all the things that are in this issue. So let me show you my pattern. Okay, so these are some of the garments, I guess all the garments. That's my pattern. But some really pretty feminine garments, I think. Okay, that is my pattern in this issue. It is a, I think we're calling it a capelet, poncho, shoulder warmer. Call it what you like really, but it's kind of like elbow waist length. It's worked from the top down, and it has stocking stitch to start with, and then lace. Any shaping is done in the stocking stitch section, and it's fairly easy. So if you're new to lace knitting, it's quite a good first project. It's great to just throw over if you're wearing, say, in the summer. I know summer seems a long way away, it's January. But in the summer, if you're wearing a summer dress, you can just throw it over. If you're sitting at your desk or watching telly at night, or knitting, or in a coffee shop or something, you can just throw it over to keep your shoulders and your torso warm. So yeah, it's really nice. I really like it. It's knitted in the round from the top down. A little bit of lace, not a huge amount of lace. And it is knitted in King Cole Merino Blend 4-ply in the colour Rose Petal, and it comes in 3 sizes, but you can make it longer if you want to, but you would need more yarn. And the smallest size takes 4 balls, and they're 50-gram balls, so it takes 200 grams, and the largest size takes 6 balls, so that is 300 grams. So fairly good value when it comes to yarn as well. So that is issue 193 of Let's Knit magazine. Which I forgot about. And then just after I finished filming, a parcel arrived from the Yarn Badger. This is the first time I ordered from the Yarn Badger. Let me just open this so I don't make too much noise. Oh, that is gorgeous. Okay. Okay, so I was watching a podcast, I think it was Botanical Yarns, and I can't remember whether it was Sophie, the owner of Botanical Yarns, or the lady who was on the podcast with her, who I can't remember, who's one of her staff members. One of them mentioned the Yarn Badger, and they had the most beautiful yarn they were knitting. I think it might have been Sophie's colleague, not Sophie who runs Botanical Yarns, but her staff member who mentioned it. Now, I can't remember what the colourway was, or whether I got the same colourway or not, I can't remember. But I did say that in stash acquisitions this year, I need to, I think I said this in the last podcast, I want to reduce my sock yarn 4-ply fingering weight stash. So what did I do? I ordered some sock yarn. So this is the Yarn Badger. I'll put the link below, and it is the colourway Surfs Up. It is superwash merino, nylon, 400 meters per 100 grams. Isn't that gorgeous? So maybe I will take that with me to Norway and knit a pair of socks. I don't know. It's just so gorgeous. I love that. So I've now got like 3 yarns that are kind of like top of my queue for next pair of socks. And then I also got some sparkle, because I mean I'm a bit into sparkle at the moment. So this is called Neon Steps, is the superwash merino sparkle, and it comes in 2 50-gram skeins. So if you want to knit socks from the toe up, for example, you can just keep knitting till you've run out of yarn. And then it has a contrasting purple for heels and toes. I guess that's 10 grams. So yeah, that's really pretty as well. Isn't that gorgeous? So that is Neon Steps and Surfs Up. Quite similar, aren't they, in some ways? So yeah, now the decision of what to take to Norway become more difficult. I think I will take, I've taken them downstairs with me, but I think I will take the Lotte Knit socks and finish those if I don't finish them before I go. I was thinking once I finish this brioche cowl, if I manage to finish that this week, that I might try and finish the socks this weekend. I have a lot of swatches I need to knit this week as well, because I have 2 design submissions to do before I go to Norway. One is a small one. I only need to knit a couple of swatches for that probably, but the other one is one that's for 6 issues, so I need to do at least 6, sort of 6 to 10 swatches, 6 to 10 design ideas. It's quite a lot. So I do have a lot of swatches to knit this week. I knitted a load last weekend for 2 design submissions I submitted yesterday. So And I just finished a design that I am about to post to one of the magazines as well, so I've been working flat out on that. So I might try and see if I can finish a lot in knit socks this weekend before I go to Norway. I was going to cast on for the aqua socks. They're right up at the top there. It's not that bright one, but it's up there. I can see it. I was thinking about casting on for that. I think I might take one of these, maybe that one. And then I'm definitely going to take that one, I think, to knit a sockhead hat. Oh, those look great together. Okay, so more choices. I kind of forgot I'd ordered that. And then it also came with this one, which is quite cool. I don't quite know how you, it's got like a sealed bag. I don't quite know how you do those. That's quite fancy. Which has a, whoops, oh, okay, there's more in here. Oh, okay, it had a lollipop, which I dropped on the floor, so I'm not going to try and find that. It's got crunchy bar, not my favourite chocolate, but I'll take any chocolate. And then it's got a little yarn badger card. It's holographic, look at that, with 4 stitch markers. I was actually thinking the other day when I was using some stitch markers, I only have a couple of purple ones or lavender ones, and I thought I fancied some more of these colours, so that's really good. They're pretty. They'll go straight in my project bag, so I do use these a lot, so very pleased with that. And I'm going to eat that one. Next thing I've got to do today is finish writing a pattern. I've got a pattern on my desk here. I can't show it to you, but this is what I've been knitting on lately, and I've finished it. It's dry. I need to post it this afternoon, so I need to go and write a pattern for that. So I'll pass you back to what I recorded earlier, but I just had to pop in and just tell you about those 2 things. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider subscribing. And I will see you next time, which will probably be from Norway or on the way to Norway. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon.